Here we are. Are you sure you know what you're doing?
The Oracle's seen the child, just like I did. He'll be here to find her any minute now. I've got to get to her before he does. Wait for me here. I won't be long.
Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to the final part of Fahrenheit where... God, it looks so nice and warm in that car. Well, but yes, it is minus 55 degrees Celsius in this game, so, yeah, it's starting to reach barely habitable for humans to even live here, so, yes indeedy, we need to find the Indigo Child and hear the Indigo Prophecy, or else it's too late. So yeah, for the third act of the game, not much development for anything really. A lot of the exposition you are going to be hearing in this very part, actually, so... yeah, anything that would have been interesting to learn about the third chapter of Fahrenheit, the final part in the trilogy, kind of falls by the wayside. Yeah, get out of my way, you little bitch. By the way, you can actually get this wrong and have the Oracle take the Indigo Child, although I can't quite remember what happened, so yeah, I get lucky first try and find the Indigo Child immediately. Because again, you can actually enter other rooms and pretty much find a couple of other kids also staying in this little orphanage. Not that they really seem to react to this strange man barging into their room and, you know, just seems to wander about apropos of nothing. But yeah, needless to say, this is the point where things begin to get crazy and off the walls in a good way. So, enjoy.
So, I see you're still alive. I don't know how you've managed it, but that's of no importance now. Give me the child, and I will grant you a rapid death.
If you take her to the ones you serve, they'll use her to make slaves out of the entire human race.
That's no concern of yours. You'll be dead before that comes to pass. Give me the child. I don't have time to play with you.
And I want you to play with me. Anyway, I'm just gonna scoot out here. Alley-oop. Well, that was anticlimactic, but somehow the Oracle has the power to teleport. I don't know, I guess it's just part of his powers with the Chroma. Yes, now I'm the Oracle. Welcome back to the Oracle commentary. I've possessed Solidus-Skully. And now I'm back in the fight because the Oracle has to fight Lucas in, What do I even say about this? Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you David Cage's Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball Z, or The Matrix Revolutions. Gotta say, again, we've seen some pretty impressive stuff with, you know, Lucas and the Oracle's chroma powers. Nothing that indicated they could do shit like this, my fucking god. The fact that they're having a bit of a slap fight in midair, you know, hence the Matrix Revolutions with, you know, the whole Neo and Smith fight and, I don't know, Dragon Ball comparisons, yeah. This is fucking crazy and off the walls, and I fucking love it. Because, yeah, not only are the Oracle and Lucas pretty much going at it with, you know, fisticuffs and, you know, all sorts of Matrixy bullshit, but they're also, you know, utilizing powers unbound, which is fucking sick. I mean, again, this fight is very well choreographed, so again, even if you do get a lot of the prompts, Lucas is still gonna get his ass kicked by, you know, proxy of how they choreographed the scene, which is kind of a wee bit pissed, but all the same, though, again, it's extremely off the walls, but it is still a sick fight, so I'm enjoying every fucking second of this. And I mean, again, it is actually saying something that, you know, a lot of other David Cage games that, you know, try to be all for the drama and the art, you know, I mean, if they're capable of doing shit like this, and goddamn, man, we've... Again, I said it jokingly, but we really missed a treat in not having, you know, David Cage's take on, you know, something absolutely fucking ridiculous in martial arts, like, you know, David Cage's Devil May Cry, David Cage's Dragon Ball Z, or what have you. But, yeah, a battle of wits between the Orange Clan and indeed Lucas Kane. Oh, look at the destruction on hand. I mean, honestly, if the third chapter, you know, the third part of the trilogy would have promised anything like this, and goddamn, I'm content we lost out on an expansion of the, you know, the third part of Fahrenheit's story, because this, oh man, to do more stuff like this would have been fucking amazing. But, somewhat sadly, though, and again, kind of in a fitting parallel, actually, it does kind of remind me of the Matrix Path of Neo in the sense that, you know, in the Path of Neo itself, you know, you had, like, two major sections of the game dedicated to the first film and, you know, The Matrix Reloaded. Revolutions ended up getting the shaft, although in Revolution's case, I got the impression that that's because, a majority of that film didn't take place in the Matrix for it to really sort of adapt to, you know, the gameplay of Path of Neo. In this case, however, I feel like it's just because of the fact that, you know, because Fahrenheit didn't get the, you know, 3-game trilogy that they sort of wanted when the episodic thing fell through, that otherwise they sort of had to just sort of cut it down like this. And really, I am saddened that we never got like a 3-part Fahrenheit trilogy, man. It would have been fucking amazing to have gotten this, but, well, I mean, again, the timeline we got, you know, as we know now, we eventually got Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and Detroit I Am Become Human. I don't know. Like, I mean, a 3-part PS2 trilogy of Fahrenheit, I would have been completely down for, even if it did mean we would have had to have sacrificed Heavy Rain. Beyond Two Souls I'm not really too miffed about, because that game is kinda kappa shit. But all that aside, though, yeah. It's just sick as hell fight scene, and, again, I don't want to say it completely comes out of nowhere, given Lucas, you know, did sort of develop his chroma powers, but by that same token, like, to see the absolute craziness and godlike powers he would have gotten to play with, and still have yet to see, oh yes, there is yet a power that furthers the, you know, the Dragon Ball comparisons, what with, you know, shooting energy and, you know, commanding your chroma energy. Oh, it's yet to come. But now even the police are on Lucas's tail. Why exactly? I mean, again, he's a wanted criminal, but by that same token, though, it seems like a bit of a pointless thing to sort of pursue when, you know, temperatures freezing everything up, everything's going down. Then again, maybe it's the Orange Clan in league with the police, maybe they're controlling the helicopters and co-opted them. Who cares? They are nothing compared to the powers of Lucas Kane, who can jump buildings in a single leap, and run across buildings like a single Neo. He is truly flying on rooftops, and not only can he run across walls like he's in the Matrix, but he also has another power that neither Neo nor Superman has. He can teleport. So I guess he was blessed enough to train under King Kai. Man, is there anything Lucas can't do in this game? We do pretty much everything but, like, fly a fucking spaceship in this game, which, quite frankly, might have been in the cut 3rd part of the trilogy for Fahrenheit, but we never saw it.
You found the child.
Agatha.
Humanity's fate for the next 10,000 years depends on the fate of that child. A new golden age, peace and security, or the reign of ice, of terror and death. We were right to have chosen you.
You're not really Agatha, are you?
No, you're right. Poor Agatha died in her apartment. We've simply borrowed her physical appearance to allow us to communicate with you.
This child, why is she so important?
At the dawn of time, a prophet announced that one day a child would be born, one whose soul was absolutely pure. She would come and reveal a secret, the answer to all questions. He who possessed this answer would gain unlimited power.
What happened at the amusement park? I don't remember anything after the roller coaster collapsed.
You didn't survive the fall. We found your body and we resuscitated you. The truth is that you are dead, Lucas.
Why did you bring me back to life?
Because of your connection with the Oracle, of course. You see through the mouths of the serpent at the same time he does. Only you could lead us to the child. It was vital that you bring us the Indigo Child, and you succeeded. Now we can put her in a safe place. You've accomplished your mission well.
No, I don't trust you. Jade stays with me.
You're committing a fatal error, Lucas. I'm going to have to eliminate you. Oh, I forgot one small detail. When we brought you back to life, we added a module within your cortex. It's impossible to kill you, as you are already dead. I can, however, annihilate you. A simple touch from me, and you will be erased forever. There's no use trying to resist. I have control of you now.
And so, this is our introduction to the Purple Clan. Artificial intelligence that somehow found physical form, and is the reason why Lucas came back to life and can control him, utilizing their willpower. Jesus.
Get up, Lucas! Hurry!
Quickly! Over here!
Grumble, grumble. If only the chroma would let me out here. But the chroma is nothing compared to artificial intelligence.
But in any case, now we have yet a fourth faction going around that has nothing to do with the Purple or Orange clans, but instead this is, well, the Invisibles. Those homeless people that have been cropping up all throughout the game, especially with fucking Hancock over there. Yeah, these are a group of people known as the Invisibles. A network of homeless people who are basically humanity's protectors, and pretty much sort of there to safeguard, well, what remains of the free world as it stands. Not that there's really too much left, as Hancock takes us down directly to their base beneath the subways. As well, this seems to be where humanity's last stand is going to be, assuming that the Purple Clan ends up taking control of everything, as we're going to be learning quite soon. So yeah, the Purple Clan is basically the artificial intelligences. Where the hell they came from is anybody's fucking guess. The game never really outright explains it directly. The most we really get is actually from, actually the first homeless dude we meet in the game, who we later learn is called Bogart. And, well, here we go.
So, she's the one. This is the Indigo Child?
Her name is Jade. She doesn't speak. I get the feeling that for the moment, she's observing us. How did you find me?
That man came and got me. He told me you needed help. So, what do we do now?
Looks like we don't have much choice. Let's follow him.
Now, you might be thinking that this would also be where we meet Tyler if you choose to reject Sam's offer of going to Florida, but yeah, sadly no, Tyler doesn't show up at all here, so yeah, depending on the cold snap pressures and, you know, people noted to have been dying and such, yeah, this might potentially be the end of Tyler's story. And life.
Lucas, you're safe and sound.
Marcus! How did you end up here?
They came looking for me. They explained everything, Lucas. I know now that you weren't crazy. I hope that you can forgive me for doubting you. I couldn't possibly have known that you were really...
What are you talking about?
Our host will explain everything.
Ah, well, at the very least Marcus is alive though, so thankful for small mercies and what remains of Lucas's family. But yeah, all that aside though, there's not really too much to explore, mostly exploring of the Invisible's little alcove here, / one refuge of humanity as the game starts to veer into Terminator territory, you know, what with the revelation of the Purple Clan being the machines and whatnot. Yeah, pretty much sit down, listen to Bogart's story, and he pretty much gives us the big plot dump exposition of what, I get the impression was going to be built up all throughout, you know, the third part of the, you know, trilogy, but, yeah, sadly, a lot of the heavy lifting of, you know, what's to become of the Indigo and Purple Clan, or same thing really, whatever.
You call yourself the Invisibles?
Many of us are homeless. Though we're scattered throughout every city, no one ever notices us. This allows us to see without being seen, and pursue our mission without attracting attention.
There's another clan besides the Orange Clan, isn't there? The thing that took on Agatha's form wanted the child too.
We've only recently become aware of the Purple Clan. We know almost nothing about them. We suspect that some AIs acquired a sort of consciousness using the net during the 80s. They want the Indigo Child in order to become the dominant life form on the planet. First the dinosaurs, then man, now artificial intelligence.
You're the ones who sent me that email on Kirsten, aren't you?
Normally, we never intervene directly, but it seemed necessary to help you see that Lucas wasn't really guilty of murder. We thought that you might ultimately help him in his mission.
Who is really behind the Orange Clan?
Nobody knows for sure. It's said that there are five to control the world. Administration, police, army, finance, the media. They control everything. Over the centuries, the Orange Clan has built an empire that runs the entire world.
You mentioned the clans. How many of them are there?
In ancient times, every kingdom had its clan. But then they began warring, and most of them disappeared until there was only one left. From the west, the Orange Clan.
You mean that...
The prophecy has been all that has motivated the most powerful since the very beginning. They fought with one another with the sole hope of improving their chances of finding the Indigo Child. Puts the history of the world in a new light, doesn't it?
What is the message of the prophecy?
It announces the birth of the Indigo Child. The child will have the answer to all questions. And the one who hears her message will have access to infinite power. But if the child has not been heard before the final countdown, humanity will cease to exist.
So, what do we do now?
We must bring the Indigo Child to a source of the chroma. That's where she'll deliver her message and complete the prophecy.
Where do we find this chroma source?
There are only 3 known to exist on the planet. The closest could be found on an old military base called Wichita.
Wichita? That's where I was born. My parents were scientists. They were working for the government.
And that explains many things. In the 50s, an artifact was discovered that was not of human origin. It turned out to be a chroma source. We must bring the Indigo Child there as quickly as possible, before she wastes away and dies without having delivered her message.
When do we leave?
In 2 hours, the time it'll take to finish preparations on your vehicle and to find you enough gasoline. It seems likely that the Orange and Purple clans will be waiting for you at Wichita. They will stop at nothing to prevent you from uniting the child with the artifact. We will take care of the child and give her a bit of chroma to help her hang on. There are some mattresses in the wagon back there. I suggest you get some rest before you have to leave. You have a long journey ahead of you. Tomorrow may well be the last day of the human race.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Here you go, Hancock. Take the Indigo Child, who, yeah, regardless of which ending you actually pick, to kind of cut a slight spoiler here, I mean, you do pretty much learn this when you visit her later on. Yeah, Jade is pretty much dying. So, yeah, that's a poor kid. She's pretty much there to bestow the ultimate lesson, a child pure of heart, and then she dies. By the way, if you're hoping that we will get to learn a little bit more about the Indigo Child, or if she has any actual agency of her own, Jade doesn't actually, which again, you know, David Cage's stellar writing about children. Yeah, Jade in this case is a literal plot device, which is incredibly saddening because, well, yeah, Jade just seems to go along with whatever, really, which I guess makes her more of a vessel for what the Indigo Prophecy actually is, as opposed to anything else, but,
An old radio. If I could get it to work, maybe I could get some news from up top. Seems to be in pretty good shape. Just need some batteries and an antenna.
Yeah, whatever. Thank you, Carla, for interrupting my spiel. But yeah, I mean, it's, I'm not really too sure what to think about it, really. I mean, I get the impression that, you know, Jade is purely meant to be a vessel for, you know, the Indigo Prophecy as it was intended, why exactly she exists to be as such is anybody's guess. Does the chroma have a will of its own? I mean, is it meant to be like the Force, where it does, like, have its own will and power and creation of the universe sort of thing? Or is it purely, you know, just energy, you know, matter that's there to be the building blocks of the universe, there to be created to whoever's able to, you know, take control of it? These are the sort of questions that I kind of wish the game answered, but, yeah, the game never really does so for whatever reason, so... Again, you're left a little bit half-cut, and again, you know, when it comes to the Indigo Child, it's just sort of left as being more plot device than character. Again, you're going to be seeing a little bit more of that, actually, when, you know, they discuss... I mean, that's pretty much all you get, actually, from what Bogart was talking about with the whole artificial intelligences. I mean, the most that you learn in the game itself is that it was, you know, they were apparently created in the 1980s. You know, they seem to have just sort of grown in power gradually as technology developed on Earth, you know, from that point onwards. And now they want to kill all humans. Why exactly? I guess purely because they see themselves as better than us, if Bogart's explanation is anything to go by, so they're the next dominant life form and will rule this icy tundra of a planet just being computery and evil? Again, I really don't know what to tell you. There was another instance later on in the game where you can technically ask the AIs themselves about who created them, but I don't know, like, I kind of feel like it would have been a slightly more interesting plot twist if, like, maybe some of the equipment and computers that were used to initially study the chroma would have ended up being affected by the chroma itself and then sort of grown a consciousness that probably would have put AI far in advance of anything that they would have seen, you know, circa the 2000s, or, well, I mean, even today, to be completely honest with you, now that we actively have that technology these days, but, well, who knows, really.
How's she doing?
She's finally asleep. She doesn't have much strength left. I did what I could, but she needs a chroma source real bad.
Oh, dear Jade. It's my pleasure living to die. Yeah, it is a bit of a shame, actually, that Carla, now Lucas's little squeeze, doesn't really get a scene to interact with Marcus or anything, so... Yeah, any of the finer details that we enjoyed in, like, the first part of the game pretty much fall by the wayside here. I mean, you do still get to do things here and there, but... Again, to me, it's the sort of game where Fahrenheit, I think, really would have benefited from the 3-game trilogy that, you know, would have had more than enough time to really tell its story, at least in the detail that they were trying to do, which... Again, I can't really fault Quantic Dream for, you know, their ambitions here, but by that same token, though... I don't know, Fahrenheit to me is really just sort of a one-in-a-kind sort of game, and, I feel like a trilogy, I mean, for better or for worse, would have been able to adequately tell its story. You know, David Cage-isms and all, really, which just kind of leaves me a little bit disappointed here, really.
There we go.
I mean, I suppose the alternative is that we would have lost out on the games that came since, but,
Two-thirds of the country are completely without power this morning. Residents are chopping up wood wherever they can find it in an effort to keep warm. In a few days, the planet will revert to the Stone Age. Only a few cities can still count on it.
The government has declared a Level 1 state of emergency. The Army has been deployed throughout the nation to discourage looting and protect those unable to remain in their homes due to the cold. Several 100,000 men have been attached to emergency services in order to...
All of the oceans of the globe are now almost entirely frozen over. The Atlantic Ocean is closing up, and there are only a few hundred miles in the middle of the Pacific which haven't been covered over by the ice flow. If the temperature continues to fall, it seems likely that...
And I'm telling you the truth. This cold wave is a divine punishment for all of humanity's sins. God is sick and tired of our faithless, evil ways, and he's gonna cleanse the planet of the unworthy and declare the dawn of a new era, just like he did with Noah's flood. Don't be afraid, my brothers, because God's will is all-powerful. The just need not fear his wrath, because...
Yada yada yada. Sheesh. But anyway, that's what's going on up top. Temperature's getting colder, people are dying, and as a result, the machines are coming to kill us. Everybody flee to your underground bases, North Cole, anything, hide from the Nemesis comet. And yet another in a pile of references of Australian things that nobody will get. Although if anybody does know what I'm referencing with the North Cole and the Nemesis comet, I think you probably had a similar childhood to mine. Oh, but dear, here goes more editing to be involved and more contrivances.
Still not asleep?
No, I can't seem to relax.
It's hard to believe that it's all going to end tomorrow, isn't it? The fields, the forests, the cities, everything will disappear under the ice. And what's going to happen to us? It'll be like we never existed, like nothing important ever happened. Are you afraid to die?
Not anymore.
If we're both going to die tomorrow, I want you to know something. I'm sorry that we didn't meet under better circumstances. Maybe if things had turned out differently.
Now, to be completely honest, I would have bought this scene, well, again, gratuitous as it might be, a little bit better if it was just, you know, end of the world, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna die anyway, let's have sex and, you know, enjoy ourselves while we can before the end comes, but no, this is meant to be the, you know, the ending to a budding relationship with Lucas and Carla that sort of came right the fuck out of nowhere, and began on top of Tiffany's grave. By the way, I would also like to point out here that you require blood in order to pump an erection and as well, you know, produce sperm. What happens as a result of this is that Carla gets pregnant, as you'll hear by the end of the game, and, well, Lucas is pretty much dead and a zombie reanimated by the artificial intelligence. So how the fuck is he getting a hard on? My only explanation is the chroma. Catch you next time.